Nothing irritates me more than a man. The end.
The end. Anyways, if you want to order signs for your franchise stores, make sure you buy from the responsible sign company. LC Sign has 4 respectively quality inspectors and been in the sign industry for 5 to 12 years. And every sign will be 100% inspected on the LED, size, power supply, and even components. We're professional for franchise signs manufacturing with great cost effective. Remember to follow LC Sign.
Men can count on one
Just
hand
imagine
alone,
if this was
probably
your
even
brother,
less
your
than
father,
half
your
a hand,
husband.
how many times they have been able to be vulnerable with someone and how many people they've been able to be vulnerable with. And sometimes that number is 0. And you have to think about it. Think about how heavy that must feel for most men. We as women, we don't understand that because we can be vulnerable with almost anyone and someone out there will care. But men don't get that. They have to bottle it up. Because no matter what you say about men should open up more or men should share their emotions more, that is not accepted by society. It is not accepted by women. And it is certainly not beneficial for them in any way. Think about how heavy that must feel on them. And maybe you'll think twice next time before you burden your man even more and you treat them differently because they don't get that support. And you'll actually start understanding the fact that they are human too and they deserve respect just as much as anyone else.
And the kicker is these women don't care. They don't really want you. And we have women on record, modern women talking about they don't want you to really be vulnerable with them. They want to kind of know in general what's going on with you, but they don't really want to see you vulnerable. They're kind of, it's funny because they're like, oh, well, we don't like the toxic masculinity. But then when a man says, okay, well, let me be vulnerable with you, then they say, oh, well, you got to get back out there and start again, champ. Dust yourself off and try again. You got it, buddy.
For the women who are upset with my content, you don't agree with it, you have issues, you're always in the comments, going back and forth, things of that sort. I have a secret for y'all. Y'all keep giving me my content. It's like y'all can jump to the most extreme scenario and I'm just like, dang, like the rabbit hole goes deeper. Like I can talk about this. I can address this. Y'all give me my content. That's where I'm getting it from. And that's why, like, stay in the comments, y'all. Because the way y'all think, my brain can't go there. So I know the truth hurts. But y'all show why the truth is needed.
Women want men to be in provide mode, but when we criticize, which is a form of emasculation, a man will retract from providing to protect. Then if it's a direct attack, like on your character, you are just like your fill in the blank, your father. Now he's protecting himself. And that's what brings out the worst in men, when they're protecting themselves, because it overrides their compelling desire to protect others. They're the smallest version of themselves, and they're protecting themselves. And they could shut down, right? They could withdraw, or they could attack. And women cause men to attack, and then we think that's who men are. Women cause men to withdraw, and we think, well, you ghosted me. Right? We have all these accusations after we've caused it.
This might be one of the most interesting cases on the internet right now.
Kidnapping mystery solved after 4 decades.
Can't explain at that moment walking in and get the arms back around my daughter.
The tip that led to the arrest of this woman in the Villages. This is a story that really is hard to believe. A long-lost daughter had no idea she had a family that has been searching for her since 1983. Good evening, I'm Greg Wormuth.
I'm Martha Sagowski. Michelle Newton was just 3 years old when she and her mother just disappeared. New body cam video shows the moment that deputies caught up with her mother here in the Villages. She's now facing charges in connection to her kidnapping. Channel 9's Sabrina Majore live at the Marion County Sheriff's Office in Ocala. And Sabrina, you stopped by her longtime home today.
Yeah, Martha, we briefly spoke with that woman's husband who told us he was limited on what he could tell us because that woman is going to Kentucky for her next court hearing next month. But she had been living in the Villages under the name Sharon Neely for years.
Oh, they're coming for you, Sharon! They don't want me. They want Reggie. What's up?
Well, we're here for you, ma'am. Definitely here for you.
This body camera video shows the moment Sharon Neely was arrested and reminded of the life and name she left behind more than 40 years ago.
What's going on, Sharon?
I don't know anything.
Deputies say Sharon, whose real name is Deborah Newton, was once listed among the FBI's top 8 most wanted parental kidnapping fugitives. According to investigators, in 1983, Deborah was moving to Georgia with her then-husband Joe. She left ahead of him to start work and prepare the home, but investigators say when Joe arrived, both Deborah and the couple's 3-year-old daughter Michelle vanished, and for more than 4 decades, there were no answers.
I can't explain that moment walking in and get to put my arms back around my daughter.
A Crime Stoppers tip led to Deborah's arrest by the Marion County Sheriff's Office and this family reunion with Michelle and her father. But neighbors who knew Deborah as Sharon say she was happily married and always pleasant. They think there could be more to the story here.
Unless you're in their shoes, you'd never know.
We tried to ask Deborah about her family dynamics back in 1983. Her new husband told us their attorneys advised them not to talk about the case, but that they would fight this in court. And Michelle said she was shocked to learn about her mother's past and that she didn't realize she was a victim until she connected with family in Kentucky and realized all she had missed. But she also said that she wants to look ahead towards this new chapter and she doesn't have any resentment towards either her mother or father. Reporting in Marion County, I'm Sabrina Majore, Channel 9.
Yeah, so her getting arrested is funny as hell to me because her neighbor was joking with her and was like, hey, they're coming for you. And they really were coming for her because, a lot of times, moms will up and just disappear. And, you got these idiots on there like, oh, just go to court. Let's go to court. You find her. Like, no, that doesn't always happen. A lot of times they disappear, they change names. And then, as you can see, she was on the FBI's most wanted list. So they finally caught up with her. And I know how y'all are. Y'all be, well, there's more to the story, like her neighbors are saying, because it's hard for women to be the villains. But sometimes they're the villains. Like, sometimes they're the bad guys. Like, it's not always a bad man. Sometimes it's a bad woman. And sometimes that bad woman is the mom. And she's just trying to alienate the child from dad for whatever reason. Not always because of abuse or some, like, scary reason. Sometimes they just don't want to be with the person they had a child with. Or they just feel like you don't deserve to have time with the child. But yeah, crazy story, 40 years later.
Reactive abuse happens in relationships when she basically provokes you repeatedly. This can be emotionally, this can be psychologically, sometimes even physically, until you react, until you snap eventually. And then she'll use that reaction that you give her as proof that you're the problem, that maybe you're the abusive one. So what does this actually look like in real time? And I'm going to give you some examples, and maybe you've experienced these in your relationship. This can kind of give you an insight into how to identify it. So usually it starts pretty small, maybe like small jabs at you, little jokes, little lighthearted things, could be sarcasm. She could even start ignoring you or maybe withholding affection. You try to go to grab her hand and she pulls away. And it can even go as big as starting to push your boundaries. You might have put down a boundary or she knows that there's something that you don't like and she tries doing that to see, will I get a reaction? What is this going to lead to? And what happens is that over time, these little provocations become a lot more targeted towards you. She may say things like, why are you so sensitive? Or, you're such a disappointment. Or, nobody wants to be with you. I don't want to be with you. The goal here from her is not to have an argument with you, but it's basically to get a reaction out of you. She wants to see, are you going to react and how are you going to react? The thing is, once you do respond, and oftentimes it may be with anger, maybe with frustration, and maybe with defensiveness, she suddenly becomes very calm, very collected. All of a sudden, she's very concerned. And it's interesting because as humans, if someone is repeatedly provoking you over and over and over again, eventually you're going to lose your cool. Anyone in that situation would lose their cool and feel like, okay, like I'm angry now. And you might show some of that anger and it's a normal reaction to something like this. But what happens here is that then the narrative gets flipped. So now you're the one who's the aggressor and she's looking like a victim.
And that's exactly the way they play it. That's exactly how they run it. They make you mad. They do silly stuff. And then when you decide to finally say, hey, quit doing that, then they get, I didn't know. Officer, I had no idea. They do that type of stupid stuff. Number one. Number two, I don't think she even mentioned it in there. They'll start flirting with other dudes in your face. They'll start doing things that they know is going to make you mad. Because that's just the way they are. Some of these modern women are losers.
The one thing a man is not going to do when he is not feeling appreciated, he ain't going to complain about it. He ain't going to make no speech. Ain't going to be no announcements. He just going to jest. Here are 6 things a man will slowly stop doing when he knows that he is not being valued. Number 1, he gonna stop going the extra mile. When a man knows that he goes above and beyond for his wife, his family, or his woman, and he ain't being appreciated, it's pointless. Number 2, he will stop sharing what's on his mind. When he knows that his ideas, what he says, are diminished or minimized, he's just gonna stop talking. Number 3, he will stop being emotionally available. When you know that your energy of you opening up is not welcomed, then you're just gonna stop. Number 4, he will stop trying to impress you. The dates will get simpler. The surprises will fade. It literally will go from passion about you to obligation. Number 5, they will stop initiating connection. They get tired of being rejected and they will take their energy someplace else. Number 6, they will stop feeling peace at home. And when a man loses that peace, everything suffers quietly. One thing I know about a man, he is not going to pull away suddenly. It's going to happen over time. And when it does, that's when he will start to hear that he has changed, which is not true. The truth is, men do not change. They just adapt to how they're being treated. Appreciation fuels men, respect keeps them grounded, and peace keeps them present. Always remember that.
Something you as a man should know about overthinker girls, such as myself, we will notice every small detail about everything, which means we'll notice your slight change in tone. We'll notice when you're breathing differently. We'll notice when you haven't said anything in a specific amount of time. We'll notice when you walk a different way. We will notice all the small details. And sometimes we just want a little bit of reassurance. But I understand we as women need to learn to not have to beg for reassurance all the time. But sometimes it really helps when you can just remind us that you love us, that you care about us, and that everything is okay. Because ultimately, we just want to be with you and we want to be loved by you and make sure that we're making you happy all the time.
I need to know what goes on in men's brains because we needed soy sauce and my husband was like, oh, let me order some. What is this? We are 2 people. This is a gallon of soy sauce.
I'm going to tell you a little secret about men if you want the man in your life to help you out. When that man helps you out, do not complain about it because here he is. You needed soy sauce and he got the soy sauce. It is a huge mistake to complain about how he got it and what exactly he got. As long as it was soy sauce, it is what you asked for. He solved the problem. But look, for the sake of argument, let's dive into it for a second. These are 3 reasons why he ended up getting that soy sauce. Number 1, when you're ordering groceries online or you're on Amazon, you may not realize how much product it really is because it's just a little tiny picture of it. 2, it's a cost savings. It's less money per ounce. You should appreciate your thrifty man. And 3, he doesn't have the opportunity cost next time of having to buy more soy sauce. Like you guys are set, and that soy sauce, it does not expire. That stuff stays good forever. There are so many women out there that would actually appreciate this effort. They're even entering the comments, which is hilarious because they're asking if this woman wants to divorce her husband, that they will take him.
A lot of women that got some money and they lonely.
So you think you could be happy? You don't need no man.
No.
You on a podcast with hundreds of thousands of subscribers as a black woman, you're sitting there and telling the world, all men, ethnic groups included, you don't need no man.
I didn't say I don't need a man.
She said that.
Oh, okay.
Everything I got right now, I ain't get with no man.
And as a man, I find that as a flaw in women because no matter what I've built, I know I need a woman. A woman completes me, man. There's a man out there. There's a man, and there's always gonna be a man that's gonna be worth that. I think with you living in that, oh, no man is like that. That's all it's gonna be in your atmosphere. When you start breathing in, oh, I'm gonna find me a good one, then that good one gonna knock on your door.
And the funny thing about all of this is that they're still talking. They're not taking the hint that maybe I shouldn't be saying what I'm saying. Maybe if I want to find a man, I'd say a good man, I should speak in a way that would attract a good man. But they think, well, I can just say all this silly stuff and I can get away with it. And any man that wants me, if that man is really my person, he's going to allow me to talk crazy. And they're going to continue to talk crazy throughout the relationship. Newsflash, no man is going to allow you to sit up there and talk crazy. Oh, well, I don't need you. You just here. You better be happy, child. No, I'm not happy to just be in you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you at a lot of stuff. Why would I just be happy to be here? I'm just as good as you are.
The kids ruined my body. No, they didn't. You didn't have a routine before. You weren't training. You weren't tracking. You weren't moving with intention. You were already neglecting your body. Then the kids came, and instead of taking ownership, you made them the scapegoat. Pregnancy didn't ruin you. Complacency did. The late night snacking, the excuses, the constant, I don't have time. What you really mean is, I don't have discipline. Because every mom I know who was committed to her health before and kept that same standard after has a better body now.
Yeah.
Motherhood didn't destroy your body. It revealed your habits. You're not broken. You're just out of practice. That's fixable, but only when you stop treating fitness like a luxury and start seeing it as responsibility. You brought life into this world. That's power. So don't insult that power by settling. Your kids didn't ruin your body. They gave you a new reason to master it. Get in the lab, build it back, not for the old you, but for the woman your kids get to look up to.
Listen, I understand how hormonal changes may impact you, right? Postpartum is a real thing, but men are just tired of these excuses. But for my G's out there, understand that if she wasn't about that fitness life or that fitness routine before pregnancy or before you got with her, she ain't gonna magically develop discipline after. So if you pick a lady that is comfortable with steady gaining weight year after year, who eats sloppy, avoids the gym, and then you come along and try to fix her, it'll more than likely be a lose-lose battle. At that point, you only got two choices: either become the bad guy for pressuring her, or live quietly resenting what she's big-backed herself into. Choose better mindset on the front end.
You want to know why your man don't open up anymore? Because the last time he tried to, you gave him a headache and started talking about 50 different subjects that had nothing to do with the subject in hand. That's why.
In most cases, there are exceptions to the rule. Most women will never do better than the father of their children.
What?
Yes, because if you picked poorly before, masculine men are looking at your track record. You know how they say stock? We all have stock, right? Certain men lower your stock. Certain women lower your stock. So if you choose a man that lowers your stock, and what I mean by that is he doesn't respect you, he doesn't uplift you, he doesn't love on you, he's not showing you the love that any man should have for a woman that they value. Well, now this is the bar. So now men at this bar are like, yeah, I could have her too. And most of these men might be like, why would I choose that when I want to be with somebody whose bar is also up here? So most women, there are exceptions to the rule. Most women like Lisa, not you, can only do as good as their baby daddy. Now, the exception to the rule is, how beautiful are you? The exception to the rule is, how feminine are you? The exception to the rule is, what is your essence giving? Because if you are baby mama that got baby mamaed by, what is Aaron calling Pookie and Ray Ray and them down the street? If that's who gave you a child, but that was a mistake that you made 15 years ago, and you've learned and you've grown and you're inside of your feminine essence and you're doing the things to take care of yourself, then you probably can attract a higher value man than if you decided to stay there. So I just want to be clear. This podcast, I'm praying, is for young women that don't get a chance to hear. Don't make the choice. Don't do it. Don't let these men get you pregnant. If you're going to lay down with a man, don't sleep with your people frivolously. Be a miser with your body, potential husbands only. That's what I'm going to say. But, y'all are grown, do you.
So the incels of TikTok have crawled out of the darkest corner of their mother's basements and onto my post. All I had to do was make a video about how the amount of people someone has slept with does not affect the value of them as a person. I feel like most people are now aware about incel culture and how chronically online they are. And they're chronically online because they feel dejected by everybody around them, right? Obviously, particularly women.
So they're in an incel because they have a preference in their relationships and who they want to date. Well, I don't think having a large count necessarily means you're less of a human being. I do think it's a valid preference, and it can tell about maybe some of your dating habits. And a man having a preference on that is completely valid. Calling men incels for that is just a lazy way to silence men's standards in relationships. Women can have height expectations, money expectations, anything superficial. But as soon as a man has any type of requirement, even if it's a simple, easy one within your control, all of a sudden it's a problem. And I've noticed a lot of women call any man that disagrees with them an incel by default. It's another way to shut down men's voices without even listening to their points, which they often have very good ones. And let's be blunt here. Most men who do talk about body count, they have a strong preference on that. They're not living in their mother's basement. They're not extremists. They're men that have self-respect and expectations. They think long-term and they have goals in their relationship. They actually possess a lot of qualities that a lot of women claim to want in a man.
You honestly need to get that look about your eyes. You look like a psychopath and you look crazy. I know y'all try to rewrite the narrative that the stuff that y'all don't care about doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter, but it is. I don't know why y'all think that y'all can just say, oh, well, if it don't matter to me, it don't matter to a man. And if it does matter to a man, it should matter to a man. These are the things in life that actually matter. If we went purely and solely based off of what y'all thought was important, imagine the shambles. Imagine the disarray. Imagine the utter chaos that the world would be in. And y'all would be looking around trying to find a man. And then all of a sudden, his opinion would matter.
When he asks you if you can cook for him, ask him, can he build a house for you?
This is not the gotcha moment that you think it is. Because for a man to build a house would take 1 to 2 years of his life and hundreds of thousands of dollars. For you to make dinner takes about a 10-minute trip to the grocery store, maybe 30 to 40 minutes of cooking, and maybe 10 minutes of dishes afterwards if you want to count that. But you would probably make the argument as to why your husband would need to do the dishes. This is an attempt of a woman to logically reason through getting what she wants. And all men know this as they're listening to it because it's not logical. It doesn't line up as far as time and effort. Because of that, when a woman comes on here and tries to attempt that logical reason to get what she wants, men see it. They see right through it. And all men will take from this is that you specifically are that type of woman that wants to take, and she will not be willing to reciprocate anything near the amount of energy or effort that he puts in. And they know that that is just not worth it.
Excuse me, dang. I'm nervous. Yeah, you can't be looking at me like that, though.
Come on now, dog.
So what, are you like your man tall?
Yes, I do.
Bruh. You don't pick him. That's easy.
But that wasn't the only reason I popped him, though.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I was nervous, man. I don't wanna.
Why are you nervous?
She's beautiful. That's why I can't look at her.
Do you not think you deserve someone beautiful?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Of course I do. Of course
So why
I do.
you
Of course
popping
I do.
balloon?
You want to feel my heart? I should be like 100 times fast right now. Tell you, like I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. But now,
Give him another balloon. Okay. Let me have another balloon.
Round 2, fight.
Come here. What are you saying? I do have one more question. Go for it.
Yeah,
do
do
you
it.
work out though?
Yeah. So I used to be 405 pounds. Now I'm
Really?
250. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Man, so I'm proud of myself. Had a heart attack last year. I was fat as shit. Yeah, I'm active now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, the
That's
heart
good to
doing
know
good.
because I don't want you dying on me now.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't. I mean, you got me down right now. My heart's still beating. Trying to calm my joint down, man. Goodness gracious.
So this is a match? It is a match.
Yeah, it's a match. Bro, you want my balloons? Good luck, bro.
It's a lot.
Yeah, your daughter's at home. Well, you've been out the last 4 weekends, history behind my back.
You know what woke me up? Tom Brady and Will Smith. Imagine being the best quarterback of all time and getting cheated on with a fitness instructor. Imagine being one of the best actors that have ever existed and getting cheated on with some low-life bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really opened up my eyes that no matter how successful you are, no matter what you do, like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't fucking matter. And this is horrible for men to, like, come to a realization of that, like, you're literally gambling. Any relationship that you get into, especially in this society, in this day and age, with the mentality and the ideologies that the women have, like, you're gambling. You're flipping a coin 4 times and hoping it lands on heads every single time just to end up happy. And then they want to talk about male loneliness epidemic. But it's like, most men aren't lonely by, like, circumstance. They're lonely by choice because they understand this. When you look at Tom Brady get cheated on, what could you possibly do? Imagine Beyonce got cheated on by Jay-Z. You would immediately be like, men ain't, how could somebody like Jay-Z cheat on Beyonce? And that's what men have to deal with regularly. Why would anybody respect a woman when they literally cheat on you no matter what? I'm not saying it's all women because it's not, but what I am saying is that in this day and age, it is most women. It is 80% of women that aren't worth anything, right? And you have to pick through all of this garbage and to be able to find the one woman that has her morals right, or you have to date somebody that's much older than you and typically still doesn't have the right morals for some reason. All right, so in this day and age, men are just tired of it. Men are tired of getting with garbage mentalities, people that can't be led, people that don't want to learn or grow but still expect them to provide everything and do what their fathers taught, right? They want to be like, oh, how was your father growing up? And they want you to be that man, but they don't want to ask, how was your mother growing up? And they don't want to be that woman. They don't want to be the woman that father was deserving of, no, but they want to have that father treatment. They want to have that, oh yeah, he'll provide and protect and do everything, and I'm still my own person and get to do whatever I want. His money is still my money, but now I get to work, so my money is my money. Truth is, in this day and age, getting married doesn't benefit a man at all. Being in a relationship doesn't benefit a man at all. There is no reason for any man to do anything other than focus on his relationship with God and make money.
And that's not something that we even have to imagine. Because when Jay-Z did cheat on Beyonce, everybody was in an uproar. How could he? The exact same things that you're saying, that's what they were saying. Everybody was riding to her defense. But if Beyonce would have done that, I wonder what the reaction would have been. Oh, well, he probably ain't treating her right. He probably ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Men can get into these relationships and they can really start to coast, and they take their woman for granted. So she was probably looking for love, and that's probably what she wanted. Oh yeah, just like Jada Pinkett Smith too, huh? Right. Pure embarrassment.
So the internet is freaking out right now because Millie Bobby Brown decided to legally change her last name since getting married to Jake Bon Jovi. And the reactions from women tells you everything you need to know about modern feminism. Take this clip, for example.
Feel a way about women who have made a really strong career for themselves off of their own name, getting rid of their name and taking the name of a man. It's like we're getting into weird trad wifey territory. He talks a lot about like living on that farm with cooking dinner for her husband.
Getting married at like 1920 and now living on a farm feels very
Adopting a kid.
1800s to me.
Very 1800s.
Imagine how bitter of a woman you have to be to make fun of somebody who gets married young, adopts a child in need, and cares for her husband. First of all, let's remember that your maiden name is your father's name, so let's not pretend that keeping your middle name is this feminist boss babe move, because either way, you're under a man's name. But seeing women criticize another woman for choosing her husband's last name rather than celebrating it shows that they don't actually care about choice. They're simply anti-man, anti-marriage, and anti-motherhood. Feminists continually deny the biological reality that women want to get married and have children, but when women don't get that, whether because they wasted their prime years on climbing the corporate ladder, or they slept around and realized no high quality man wants to be with a woman who gave her whole self to the world. When these women are still single by their 30s and 40s, they start shaming the women who chose to get married young and chose to pursue motherhood as if they were oppressed by the patriarchy or stuck in the 1950s. And what blows my mind is feminists still don't understand, because of their idolatry of money and independence, is that women's success is not defined by her career or lack thereof. Meaning men don't choose a wife based off her titles or degrees or follower counts. In fact, they could care less. A man chooses to marry the woman with noble character, one who loves and respects him, and one who brings peace into his life. That's what a man values, not this boss babe energy. So Millie, or any woman who chooses to change her last name out of respect and love for her husband, isn't diminishing herself or her value. It actually adds to it. These reactions from feminists prove once again that they don't actually care about choice. They simply want to live in a society where women rule and men are pushed out because they don't need a man. And yet they wonder why women are more depressed and suicidal than ever before.
There is something clearly wrong with the woman on the right. She's unhealthy. She can hardly fit in her freaking shoes.
You cannot determine someone's health just by how they look.
Yes, the freak you can. If you have any critical thinking skills, you can see that this person is objectively unhealthy. They are 600 plus pounds. What are we talking about here?
A lot of women are losers, and I want to talk about it. A lot of y'all feel like men should provide for you guys and should upgrade your lifestyles, but you have nothing in return to give to him. Therefore, that makes you a loser. And you always are so quick to call men losers if they live at home with their mom or if they don't have a job. You'll label them a loser very quickly. But a lot of y'all be baby mamas living off the government, don't have, like I said, nothing to offer anyone. You can't even look at yourself in the mirror and be accountable, then have the nerve to call someone else a loser. Yeah, loser. And the amount of women that encourage bad behavior, negativity, and the catty-like behavior. Yeah, loser mentality. And the thing about losers, they want to make other people losers. So this is why you see them being so miserable and trying to make other women miserable. And women lie to each other, and instead of telling each other the truth, they would just rather normalize bad behavior. It's disgusting. And a lot of women make horrible decisions. They live with no discipline. They don't care how they carry themselves, and they just project all of their negative energy back onto men. It's the patriarchy. Not to mention, a lot of you guys are complaining about the very men that you raise. You don't want to date the men that you raise. And why is that? Is it because a lot of you guys don't even want to be mothers? And y'all complain about all of the things that make women beautiful, that make women unique. You guys hate that about yourselves and still find a way to blame it on men.
I think you did a pretty good job of discussing it. Not only do we not call these modern women, these types of women, losers enough, I love that you said you don't want to date the man that you raised. And they do this in a lot of other different areas of their life. They create problems, they create issues in their relationships, and then they don't want to fix them. Well, I'm looking for the man to lead. I think there was one woman that said, the man, my husband comes to me always. After like we fight, he always comes to me first. And, you know, he initiates the conversation as he should. He should what? Why should he always initiate the conversation? Especially when you're wrong. Now, I understand there are some times where you be upset and then you kind of move from upset to, you know, you're not really upset, but it just feels weird. And so you don't know how to start the conversation. So your partner will come through and say, is it okay for us to talk now? And that's when you open up. But you've really been wanting to open up. But what modern women do and how they think is how she thinks. Well, my husband is always going to initiate the conversation. Instead of you getting your silly behind up and saying, hey, I would like to talk. Do you have any time right now? Or is it okay if we discuss what happened earlier on? They're lazy. They're intellectually lazy. Loser behavior, loser speech, loser thought patterns, loser behavioral patterns, all of it. Just losers. And they don't care to improve it. They want a man to take care of them. They want a man to take care of everything that got going on. They don't want to lift a finger. And when a man says, okay, now it's time you do for me, then all of a sudden, it's a problem.
On behalf of all gym bros, thank you. You know, I've been going to the gym for over 20 years, and in those 20 years, I've seen women make their way into the weight room and take up the space they deserve. And as a gym bro, we love to see that because the gym is a brother sisterhood. And I know come January 1st, there's going to be a lot more women coming into the weight room that feel just like Liv. So let me tell you this, if you need a spot or help or anything at all, please ask a gym bro. We would love to help. Thank you, Liv, for such an incredible video. Go show her some love. Have an amazing week, everybody.
So recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or, like, they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like, going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things, like he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I can hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club, they just want to go to the bar, they just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. she has 2 kids and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, you know, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that?
This is a prime example of a woman making the mistake of leaving a man based on the 90-10 theory. If you guys don't know what the 90-10 theory is, it's where a man can have 90% of what a woman wants in a man, but she becomes so focused on the 10% that that man doesn't have that she breaks it off. She lets him go even though he has 90% of what she wants. And look, when a woman does this, she is fully convinced that she can find a man with 100% of what she wants. And then she goes out into the dating pool and she tries to find a man with that 10%. She thinks initially that this is all that she really wants, and that is what she's focused on. Until she starts cycling through these men, and what she finds is that they don't have all the 90% that her ex did. She finds out the hard way that men don't actually all have that 90% that her husband had. That's why she didn't appreciate it to begin with, because she thought that every man, or at least many men, had the same qualities as her husband, but you know, the 10% was lacking, and that's what she needed to find. Well, over time, she realizes that she made a mistake, that she should have appreciated that 90%. And as far as the 10% that was lacking, maybe she could have either one, accepted it because she knew that the 90% made up for it, or two, she could have agreed with her husband to work on it. But with that, she needs to be open to taking some accountability for herself and her own actions, and potentially looking at changing some things that she does. This is such an important message for women to hear, because you cannot go back on it, because what this man did is that he realized that he was missing out, right? That she may have only had 50% of what he wanted. And then what happened when she released him? He found somebody else. And I bet you anything that that woman, that next woman, appreciates everything about that man. But what really kind of stinks about his new relationship is that you can tell by how this friend is talking that his ex-wife is jealous. She is questioning why he ended up going for a woman that has kids, and he is supporting her, and she is a stay-at-home mom, essentially. Newsflash, you had that and you let it go. But if she doesn't take accountability for that, she doesn't realize that it was her loss, that she made the mistake, that is final, there's no going back. She is probably going to dislike that other woman that's going to be around her children for no reason other than she is getting to reap the benefits of being with that good man. So that is why this is a cautionary tale to all women.
Ladies, when you can't find a good guy and you're having trouble like getting your family plans in motion, don't get mad at the guys. Get mad at all of the other trash women that have literally demoralized and tortured all of the good guys that you want to be with so bad that they just gave up. Like, they're not even trying to date. They have literally given up hope of finding a wife and starting a family because of the other women that have tortured all of us.
And I kind of talk about this in some of my other commentary. Women get upset because they're not being approached, or a man is not doing something. And a man tells them, well, I'm not approaching because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Yeah, I'm a little scared. But I think the biggest thing is, number one, I don't want to end up on social media with people labeling me a creep. I'm trying to build my life here. I don't want to be hit with some allegations of me doing stuff that I wasn't actually doing and painted as somebody that I'm actually not. Number two, I'm not clear. I'm not clear on what's going on. I'm not clear on what you want. There was another clip that I reacted to a little bit ago, maybe, where the guy was saying men need clarity. When they gain clarity, it doesn't matter the age, they're able to fulfill their purpose. And this is how men, and this is why men, a part of the reason that they don't approach you guys is because y'all don't give them any clarity. Y'all think that blinking your eyes 2 or 3 times is a sign to come over. And the man says, no, maybe back in the 1950s or so, but nowadays that's not enough. I need a clear sign. If I'm not clear, then I'm not moving. I'm not going to run. You have to understand that men have whole entire families. And so they've got to hold their emotions in check. They got to go off of, is it clear? Does it make sense? Yes, men take risks, but y'all think that men are just willy-nilly out here just taking the risk. No, men, a lot of guys specialize in risk management. Is it safe? Is it profitable? How are we going to do this? Men are strategic. They're logical thinkers. So they're thinking their way through how to get to the finish line, how to get to the top of the hill. And it's especially heightened when they have a family, right? So if you're trying to get a man to pay attention to you, if you're trying to get a man's attention or his time, you need to have you need to provide some clarity, basically. You need to provide some clarity to him to let him know, hey, I see you looking at me, looking at you, and us looking at each other. You know, I'm giving you the clarity. Hey, how's it going? I'm waving at you. I'm waving you over here. Come on over. I'm walking up to you at the bar and saying something flirty. Hey, I saw you over there. I saw you over there looking at me. Who are you looking at? You want some of this? Oh, well, now I got you stuttering. Oh, my name is Ashley. Hey, Ashley, my name is Tim. How you doing, Tim? And I usually don't do this, but for you, I thought I might come over and see if you like what you saw. Oh, well, why don't you buy me a drink or something like that? Oh, okay. Well, what are you drinking? And then you allow him to take the lead, right? And I'm just giving you an example of a scenario that can happen, but you gotta help the man out. That doesn't make him any less of a man. I know y'all like to say that. That doesn't make him any less of a man. You need to help him out the same way you want him to help you.
Call me a pick me. I don't give a. But let me tell you something. I'm getting tired of some of you black women. I swear to God, I really am. Watch this.
Complaining as a man. Because why are you complaining as a man?
Why would you ever?
Why would you ever complain about anything?
Yeah, why would you ever voice your opinion about anything in the world?
You should let me be
as
the
a
woman.
Man, the world is perfect and you have no right to say about nothing.
Oh, so it's like,
Especially if you were Erica Banks, everything's just right.
You ain't got nothing to complain about.
You can't say about a thing.
It has to make sense if you do complain. But like,
Give me an example. You can't, bro. You just don't. Just don't.
Okay, all right.
Just don't complain.
I just want to make sure
you shut up.
I just want to make sure I ain't
Life is
crazy,
better
bro.
when you with Erica Banks.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Nothing can go wrong. Nothing.
You can't complain about shit.
Nothing.
What would you complain about?
She said it don't sound right.
Like,
So, in other words, you don't want them to open up to you about that. Like, if something going on,
express your feelings, but don't complain. See, there's a difference.
So what's the difference?
Expressing your feelings is telling me how you feel.
You heard it yourself. As a man, you should not be complaining about anything because what is there to complain about? A lot. Then you follow that up with, yeah, you shouldn't be complaining. Let me be the woman. Oh, so are the only ones that can complain? Does that make him a woman because he's complaining? It's clear as day that some black women lack logic. Just because you got music industry money don't mean that you lack what it means to be a real woman. I don't know what be wrong with y'all. I can't stand a bitch who is financially secure or financially stable thinking that she is just a woman because she's financially stable. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing I need to change. There's nothing you're going to come over here and complain about. You probably dirty. Bitch, you probably don't have no respect. You clearly lack active listening skills. To say that a man can't complain, but he can be emotional, but it just has to make sense, you don't even have logic. So what makes sense to you is not sense. And it's like, it don't matter how much money these got, y'all still want to be in the pockets. That man go out and fight the world every day for that money just for you to think you finna disrespect him and get what the you want? Please.
3 things I never want to see my husband do because it would be an immediate turnoff. First thing, I do not want to see my husband washing dishes. No, I don't want to see him so much as lift a plate to the kitchen sink, run it underwater, and put it in the dishwasher. Absolutely not. No. What do you mean you're washing dishes right now? That's not your job, sweetie. That's my job. You can go take out the trash. You can go build a house. You're not washing a dish. That's an immediate turnoff. Second, vacuuming the house. If I walk in and you've got the Dyson in your hand and you're rolling the vacuum around the house, all sexual tension just out the window. I don't want to see you vacuuming. What do you mean you have the Dyson in your hand right now? That's not your job. That's not your job. Last but not least, I do not want to see my husband doing laundry. I don't want to see him folding clothes. I don't want to walk in the bedroom and see him folding his boxers and putting pairs of socks together. That's not your job. No. Immediate turn off. What do you mean you're putting pairs of socks together right now? That's what you're doing. No. I don't want to see my husband doing that. Absolutely not.
So, like, what's your reason on, like, cheating?
You literally don't even understand. You make $32 an hour. What is that? What is $32 an hour?
$32 an hour.
You have a little job, a little blue-collar job, making $32 an hour.
That's not good enough for you.
Who wants a man like that? No, you will never be good enough.
I literally worked my ass off.
You promised me literally so much when we got married, and look, there's nothing. I don't care what you do for me. You will never be enough. I'm done with you. If you want a divorce, get the divorce. But I will.
Video is probably 100% scripted, but you can't make this stuff up, man. There's men out here in these situations every day. Not making enough, not tall enough, not big enough, not this, not that. They don't care about you, man. They're not women that you want in your life. They're not for you. You have to realize your woman is supposed to be peaceful. Your woman is supposed to love you for you. Your woman is supposed to be chasing after the kingdom of heaven with you. I mean that, man. It's the best thing I ever did for myself. You find a woman that is going towards the kingdom of heaven with you, not the other way around, man. Not you down. That's it, man. There's men out here that are staying with these women and doing everything they can to keep them in their lives without they're cheating on them and disrespecting them every day. They don't care about you, man. This kind of woman will never care about you, and it's sad. It's really, really sad, man. Move on. Gym, grind, and God. Stay.
Unpopular opinion. A lot of women like to scream that communication is the key until they get mad. Now all of a sudden you like to practice the silent strategy. You don't want to talk about. They will ignore the absolute out of their man as soon as he do something they don't like or say something that they don't like or move in a way that they don't agree with. But you scream how communication is the key. But when it's your turn to communicate, you use avoidance. But I digress.
And honestly and truly, that sounds about right. Unfortunately, that sounds about right. These modern women, they're terrible at communication. And honestly and truly, if they slow down for a second, they know they're terrible at it. They know they're not good at communication. They'll tell you. They tell their friends. They might even say it on TikTok. The man will see them say it on TikTok. And then when they get a relationship with said man, they still do it anyway. But then they'll also say, well, I'm the best at communication. You need to learn to communicate. After they didn't just say it in the world and just heard them say, I'm not really good at communication. Communication ain't my strong suit. Some of these modern women know. They know they're terrible at it. Yet and still, they trying to make it like it's a man problem. So now you have a terrible communication problem. And now you also got an accountability problem. Now you compound it because you can't take responsibility. So now that's 3 things that you need to work on. And now it's not a small thing. It's 3 big things that you've got to work on. Y'all wonder why y'all single. Y'all wonder why men are walking away. Y'all wonder why men are choosing peace over dating. That's why. It'd be one thing if it was something minor, like she didn't put a dish in the dishwasher, or the trash is overflowing or something like that. I mean, over time it can get annoying, but you understand in relation to withholding or not communicating or not taking accountability. Those things are more minor than the big major, well, I just didn't communicate. I just did what I wanted. Well, I just didn't take accountability. He gonna have to understand. And I'm not gonna say that I'm wrong. I'm not gonna take responsibility. Y'all don't understand that y'all are ruining y'all's own relationships.